Hello दोस्तों, welcome all of you to one of my new session. Here I am going to explain my PhD interview experience at IIT Patna. Basically, recently my IIT Patna interview was there. As I joined the interview panel, there are two professors in the panel. They basically asked about my research interest and the topics that you prepared for the interview. I mentioned that sir, I basically prepared my MSc project, condensed matter physics and quantum mechanics very well. So one of the professors start asking me different questions for quantum mechanics. So chalo, we'll discuss what are the questions from quantum mechanics and what are the possible solutions and the answers for that corresponding question. Basically, these are the very important questions I found. Okay, let's see what are the questions. Okay, the first question he asked me that what is the expectation value of x and s square for one dimensional quantum harmonic oscillator. So basically you all of you know that expectation value of x is 0 for ground state for any state, and expectation value of s square is equal to n plus 1 by 2 h squared by m omega. Okay, I calculate the expectation value of s square for ground state and show him by pen and paper. Then he asked me to write the momentum operator and position operator in term of A and A dagger, which is basically known as creation and annihilator operation. I write it and show him. Once I write it, he told me to prove that commutation of x and p is equal to I h squared. So basically what I did, I substitute x and p in term of A and A dagger, then use the commutation formulas and use the important properties that commutation of A and A dagger is equal to 1. By using this step, I finally reached at the solution that the commutation relation of x and p is equal to I h squared. Okay. Then he asked me about the quantum operator. What do you mean by quantum operator? And did you know about projection operator? I told that yes sir, I know projection operator. Basically projection operator is the outer product of ket and a bra, and nature of a projection operator, as you know that square of the projection operator is also projection operator, and projection operator is Hermitian in nature. That means his eigenvalue will be real. Okay. Then he give me a important question. What are the question? Basically the question was that Umakant, you please design a projection operator for the state 0 and 1 of one dimensional quantum harmonic oscillator. Okay. Basically in this question I did half of the problem in very well manner. Then in rest part of the problem I got some difficulties. Actually there was a certain trick that I forgot to use, and he helped me. He helped me by providing some tips, and I finally reached at the solutions. Okay. Basically, these are the questions that asked me during my IIT Patna PhD interview time. And also, one of the professor give me to draw certain graphs like draw sine theta, sine 2 theta, and sine theta by theta. As you know, plotting of graph is very much important in any PhD interview or any interview in physics, chemistry and math student. So you all have to practice the at least as much as graph possible, because it's an important concept and important thing. And you can get question at any time. Okay. So guys, you must practice different graphs, and these are the graphs which was asked me during my IIT Patna PhD interview time. And I basically plot sine theta, sine 2 theta, and got some difficulties while drawing sine theta by theta, and finally I draw it. Okay. Once the quantum mechanics question was over, the professor started asking me the different questions from condensed matter physics. He asked me what is your MSc project. I mentioned that sir, I grow Ag2I to quantum dot in glasses for photocatalysis application. So he started asking me about quantum dot. Once I told the what is quantum dot, he asked me please explain the quantum confinement, what is redshift, Then he asked me why the optical property of quantum dot changes with size. You can easily explain it by considering the concept of electron confinement or particle confinement in a nanostructure. So energy because become dependent upon the size. By changing the size, you can easily change its optical property. Okay. Then he asked me, what do you mean by zero dimension? Basically, zero dimension means the particle have no degree of freedom. That means it has no possible way to change its position and configuration, which is basically zero dimension. And in quantum dot is basically zero dimensional semiconducting material in which there is a electron confinement. Okay. Then he start asking me some different question from crystallography, like what is Miller indices. I mentioned that the Miller indices basically the indices or the representation which is used to represent the different planes exist inside the planes in the solid. We are using these indices to explain the different planes, orientation of the planes in the solid. He asked me that can you say that the Miller planes or HKL planes are the physical planes or the mathematicals we are using it in the mathematical sense. I found this question for first time and I think it's an important question. We have to discuss later on this question. Okay guys. Then he gave me to draw the Miller plane for 110. I draw it and show him by pen and paper. Then he asked me different question from XRD that what we expect the change in XRD pattern if we change the wavelength of the incident radiation. Okay. Then he entered into the free electron gas theory. Why it is important? Because the free electron gas theory was the first model which gives us different and basic important information about the metals. From the free electron gas theory, we were able to explain the thermal specific heat of solid and Ohm's law, opacity of the metal, and different properties could be easily solved and easily explained by using this free electron gas theory. Basically, this is a basic theory, that's why it's important in solid state physics. And he asked me why bands exist in solid. Okay, and this is the question which was also asked me during IIT Roopur PhD interview, as I mentioned in my previous video. So you also know that electron in a solid moves under a periodic potential. There is influence of periodic potential. That's why we are getting the forbidden region and allowed region. The forbidden region is nothing but the bands. Okay, the origin of bands is basically due to the motion of electron in a periodic potential region. Okay. Then he asked me an important questions. Okay, it's a very important question. The question was that do you know superconductor? Yes sir, I know the superconductor. Basically its resistance goes to 0 at certain temperature and below certain temperature, critical temperature. He asked me the exact question that how can you differentiate a metal and a superconductor depending upon the bands. Okay, I think the question is clear all of you. What is the basic difference between semiconductor and superconductor depending upon the bands? I answered that, sir, in semiconductor, there is a finite band gap exists between valency band and conduction band. Okay. If we increase the temperature, then conductivity of the semiconductor will be changes, but the band gap will not be changes. Okay. But in case of superconductor, there exists a band gap because they are due to the formation of Cooper pair. There is a difference between the energy of electron at free state and energy of the electron in the bound state, that is the Cooper pair. So this difference of energy contribute to the superconducting band gap. And important thing is that as you increase the temperature, the band gap of the superconductor will be decreases. And at T is equal to Tc, that is at critical temperature, the band gap of the superconductor will be 0. That means at T equal to Tc, superconductor will just behave like a metal, normal conductor. As you know, there is no band gap in the metal. So for superconductor, the band gap is the function of temperature. At T equal to 0 Kelvin, the maximum band gap exists. Okay, I answered the question like that. Then he asked me why band gap exists in superconductor. You know that as I told that the basically band gap exists in superconductor due to the formation of Cooper pair. As Cooper pair form, the energy of the electron now decreases than the electron energy at free state. So the difference of that energy act like the superconducting band gap. Okay. Then he asked me that is the superconductor is a bosonic system or fermionic system? I told that basically, sir, superconducting state is a bosonic system because there is a formation of Cooper pair in the superconductor, and the Cooper pair consists of two electron. Since two electron of half spin is combined, so net spin become integral spin. That's why it's act like a bosonic system. And finally, he asked me to explain the formation of Cooper pair, how Cooper pair is formed. As you know, first of all, whenever electron is interact with the atom at lattice, the region become destroyed, momentum transformation is there. So whenever second electron come to this region, he can easily bound to the first electron through the phonon. So there is a electron phonon electron or lattice phonon lattice interaction is there, which contribute to the formation of Cooper pair in the superconductor, and Cooper pairs are the charge carrier in the superconductor. That's why there is a drastically change of behavior of superconductor from the metal at T equal to Tc. Okay, these are the total entire question that are asked from different professors during my IIT Patna interview. Thank you so much. I think you all are enjoying my session and got some points and important questions regarding the PhD interview. Okay, I think if this video is liked by you, then please share my channel and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.